our best judgment, decide what is the best course of action for the community as a whole. And there will be some folks, like he said, that may disagree with the decision at hand, but we've worked with people to try to resolve it.
But my main question is this: if the majority of the community responded to something and they said no, would you vote with the board to try to override what the community desires have been stated?
I can't imagine that I would ever do that. I can't imagine I would do that. I don't have any hidden agendas or any particular alliances with anybody. I don't have anything that I owe to anyone on the board. I would want to get to the root cause of why there appeared to be such a conflict and such a disagreement. And if it means that there was a flawed survey, then we need to take that into consideration too.
So if it was a flawed survey, then you wouldn't use any of it to do anything. You would do it.
Exactly, and then have to start over.
Okay, last question will be for Twyla. Is there a question for Twyla?
It's a basic question. And I've heard in the last 6
name
months.
please, I'm
My
sorry.
name is David Webster. Been a lot of conflict in the board meetings in the last 8 months about proper procedure. My basic question is, does proper procedure override the intent to maintain the quality of life in the Cumberland Cove? Sometimes these people make mistakes, but I'm worried about the quality of life here. It's deteriorating, and I'm close to not living here.
I'm not sure if I understand exactly what you're saying, but let me try. And I'm not sure that I understand exactly what you're saying, but I'll attempt to answer that, Dave. There have been a lot of questions asked of the board of directors, and sometimes with some animosity. Is that what you're referring to?
Some of that, but more is it, the focus is on proper procedure, and some of the proper procedures maybe are not understood. I don't know. You know, what I'm saying is, if we don't mean the quality of life in the community because we didn't dot every I or cross every T, we've lost the community.
Well, I think it's really important. For instance, Sharon Brandon's question was about community cohesiveness. And I think it's really important to have a community where everybody likes everybody else if possible, and where we all pull for the same goal, which is, in our case, many people moved here. I think my husband and I did. I can speak for us, not necessarily for everybody else. We moved here and looked at Fairfield Glade first. That's how we ended up in Crossville, Tennessee. We looked there and decided that we would look a little further out, and we happened to look at a house here in Cumberland Cove. And well, we thought, gosh, a subdivision with a few restrictions, and where they maintain these trees. When you drive through it, it's like a state park. It's wonderful. It's a very low-key lifestyle. We took a look at the community center, and we looked at the dues. We could have lived in Fairfield Glade and afforded it. We chose to live here. We like the dues, we like the trees, we like the low-key lifestyle. And we didn't think we'd ever use the pool and many of the things that we would be paying for over there. Admittedly, my husband would like the golf courses. And, you know, but he can still golf there, you know. But I think that that the people here are mainly interested in the same things, and that they have the same wish for their life, that it's in peace and harmony, and we enjoy nature and we do all these things together. What I think is causing some of the problem, Dave, is that instead of saying, oh, I I understand what you're asking me here. Let me look into that and see if, for instance, are we doing an audit? Steve, you did do that. You said, oh, no, I guess we haven't done an audit. So we're gonna do an audit. When we ask questions about the election, it would have been better for people to look into how other associations run their elections. Do they open the ballots ahead of time? Do they open any part of it? Is any part of it in their offices? Instead of digging in and causing the people who are asking, and I was one of them, I have never seen elections run where people open the ballots, or where they're actually even in the building, you know, where board members have access to it. And so that was my reason for asking that question. I would like to be a board member who would take things under consideration when people ask those questions, and would carefully research what happens in other places before I say, no, absolutely not. Stop accusing me of things I haven't done. And I'm not going to consider your way, this is fine. And, you know, so I think it's important for boards to admit when they don't know all the answers, to look at the way other places do things, and maybe try to, you know, make sure that we consider all the options, and, you know, admit sometimes that some people might have a better idea. And, you know, if hopefully we can all get along if it's approached in that fashion.
Okay, at this point, you can ask a question of any or all of the members up here on the panel. So we'll start with Blanche.
My name is Blanche Hessel, and I have a question for the appointed election committee, because a scripted question was given by your committee to answer in writing before our forum began by each of the candidates. I wish to know which one of you came up with the two questions, or did the questions come from another person not on your immediate committee of Valerie Sizemore, Nancy Grubb, Jeannie Bevan, Lloyd Goldman, and Ken Hobbs. My reason is that I do not remember this in any previous elections, and I found it curious.
Well, Blanche and guests, residents and candidates, we came up.
Can't hear you.
Yes, you would. No, wait a minute. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. We came up with the questions as a committee based on the general input of all the committee, that these two questions were ones that many people wondered about. They were questions that had been brought up before the board in the past, and they were big issues that have been floating around in the Cove for, well, 2 or 3 years probably. And we felt that since we tried to word the questions very broadly, but we came up with them ourselves, the format
But
for the
which
questions.
person came up with it?
Well, there were 5 of us. There were 5 of us sitting there. 2 of us. 5 of us were sitting there. 2 of us were writing. We were trying to get down what everyone was saying, and among the 5 of us, we came up with the wording for the questions. That's the way it worked. I mean, am I right?
Yeah,
Am
that's
I
okay.
right?
Yeah.
I just asked because I was curious.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a fair question, Blanche, I really do. And if I'd known, I would have explained a little sooner, but maybe that clarified it for everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
Technical timeout.